Morning guys, just a quick recap of what's happening. We had overnight a bit of a surprise from Swiss National Bank. They increased rates by half a basis point up to minus 0.25. That was unexpected. What was expected was the UK to raise rates, which was up by again 0.25%. That's just a gradual rise, but there's talk that they'll do 50 basis at the next month's meeting. I guess that's wait and see for that. Big jump in Australian unemployment, but it had little effect on the market. The stock market's certainly in a risk-off environment, and we're starting to hit that panic. I think I've shown you the Justin Manus's version of the market sentiment. If I can try and find that. Manus market sentiment chart images. Yeah, so it's this one here, and I think we're at this stage here was last week, and we're now into this roll here, and we're getting close down to the panic when everybody starts bailing out of everything. That tends to be the way the market moves, and certainly if we look at this is the US market, we're in the panic stage and looking for probably around 2,500, I would expect. 50% retracement, which is what happened in 2008. 50% retracement, it is 2,050 from these highs of 47 something. Right? So still a long way to go, but if that's going to do a 50% pullback, yet to be seen. But I certainly wouldn't be buying stocks. The market tried to rally off FOMC, but as we noted yesterday, every time the FOMC has moved rates in the last 2 years, or every meeting of the FOMC over the last 2 years, the market's ended lower. So the Fed credibility is certainly out the window. Not to that the market would be expecting to be a buyer, but I guess the market previously, over the last 10 years since GFC started, and that idea of free cash and cheap cash becoming available from the US government and the Fed, that they look beyond any sort of rate rises and look to that the market's going to be rising. So that scenario doesn't seem to be playing out this time around. The market's certainly coming off after sort of accelerated after the SMB meeting last night. So that's stocks. We see, if we go to the US dollar majors, the US dollar certainly got spanked overnight off the back of FOMC. It's getting close to that zone that I want to be a buyer in. Biggest move was the unexpected Swissy. As I said, I don't really like trading Swissy. I find it very difficult with trading against the SMB. But the biggest winner overnight was the yen, and that had gains across the board and out strengthened everybody. However, we've got the BOJ meeting today. The yen didn't beat the pound, and it didn't beat the Swiss, but it certainly won against everybody else. So it seems that the safe havens of Swissy and yen playing out a bit as the US dollar. I did mention that earlier in the week, that the US dollar would be the major beneficiary of risk on, also risk off, as people look for a safe haven, but that would broaden as the market, or as this sort of recession deepened and people were looking for other assets outside of US. And certainly the yen and the Swissy were beneficiaries overnight of that. Looking at commodities, gold didn't really, it strengthened somewhat, but it certainly didn't have the moves that the the Japanese and the Swissy bond markets did. Oil looks like it's probably turning higher again here. We've got a bit of a sort of low test bar there, and looking for oil to probably finish today higher with the opportunity to buy into that next week. Otherwise, I think it's a matter of being cautious in the market today, as we have been all week, because the volatility is quite high. If you can get short on any of the stock markets, often fade any rally that might come along. I think that is also the play for the day. OPEX, that's happening tonight, and that's going to create some major volatility around stocks, so be careful of that. OPEX is option expiry, so you've got what is it, some 3.4 trillion expiring tomorrow or tonight in the US, and that generally sees quite a bit of volatility as all that volume comes into the market. And that's about it for today, guys. Stay safe out there, have a good weekend, and I'll be back on Monday.